Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Art with Ray, and today I'm here to bring you a review of Arteza's 120 colored pencils expert set. I originally had bought the premium set about a week ago and liked them so much I decided to get this set. As for the differences between the premium and the expert, I really didn't notice the difference aside from the shape and the look of the pencils. The expert set might be slightly more creamier, slightly more pigmented, but I just started working with these, so I'll let you know in a later video what I think. I do really like these pencils. So here's the front cover. You have a cute little owl on here. It says Arteza 120 unique colors, artist quality, 4mm lead, break resistant, blendable, and acid free. You look on the back of the tin. It has all the colors, the swatches, the names, and the numbers, which I really appreciate because of most sets that have the swatches on the back just have like numbers. They very rarely have names. This has both, which is really great. When you open up the tin, there's this protective little coating thing. It's just to help a little bit in travel. There are 5 trays in here. There's the first one. The second, the third, the fourth, and finally the 5th layer, which the 5th layer is, for me, grays and browns and the metallics. I do have to say that when these came and I opened them up, they were in a very strange sort of order. They had like each tray had like yellows and pinks and blues and maybe some browns, but it was very strange. And Arteza is far from the only ones that do this. It's to me it's aggravating. It's not a deal breaker, but I have to have my pencils in rainbow order so that I can find them. Luckily though, on the top of the tin, let me move this back. It does have a completely different order of the pencils, and this is a lot more like the rainbow order. There were a couple pencils I had to switch around, but for the most part, if you just follow the order in this tin, it'll be a lot, at the top of the tin, inside cover, it'll be a lot easier to find and use your pencils. So let me show you what these pencils look like. I'm going to grab the rose red. Okay, so on one side, you have the name of the name. Oops, sorry guys. You have the name, rose red. You have the call number, and then you have these plus signs. These are supposed to be the light fastness ratings. 1 plus is extremely light fast. 2 is good light fastness. 3 is light fast. 4 is limited light fastness, and 5 is little to no light fastness. This one has a light fastness rating of 4, which means it has very limited light fastness. If you turn the pencil around, it just says Arteza Expert, and the leads look like this. They come blunted, like really blunt. Let me see if I can find one that I haven't used yet. Let's see which is one. Yeah, when they first come, they come with this very blunt tip. And most pencils come that way. I think it's just to keep them from breakage. And they sharpen really well, really simply. It has a really nice color range, and the metallics are interesting. It's so nice to get a few metallics in a set. This one really they gave us 4, and they're not your just gold, silver, and copper, which you usually we get with any kind of set that might have some metallics. But here we get one that is called Unicorn Purple. Another one that's called Silver, which we've all seen silver ones. A Gold. A Copper. And finally, one that's called Dreamy Blue. So it's really kind of nice. We're getting 2 other colors that are not, your typical gold, silver, and copper. Okay, so I feel like the best way to show how these pencils work is to actually color something. I do have my swatch chart, and I will show that really quickly. You might not be able to see it all that well because I do my swatches very small. I'd use little round circles just because it's a little bit easier for me. But here is, yeah, you really have to be able to see this. Here's page 1, page 2, page 3, and that's all of them. Okay, so you know what? I do want to do a little coloring just so I can show you guys how it works. I'm going to be using a page from Johanna Basford's Worlds of Flowers, and we're going to do this little square right here. And let me zoom in a little bit if I can so that you can see better what I'm doing. I might have to back up the camera just a little bit. Sorry guys. I have this new tripod that I'm still getting used to. I'm really happy that I have it, but it is something that I need to get used to. Okay, so we have a flower here, and I think I want to make it simple on myself. I'm just going to do it in reds and oranges since that's what's in my first row of pencils. So I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use rose red, which is number A205 if you want to color along. I'm going to use, let's see, regular orange, and that would be A115. And you know what, let me do a yellow too, just to make it really nice. Okay, and I'm going to use lemon yellow, A104. Okay, so when I do this, I usually start with my darkest color, which here would be the rose red, and at the very where where the petal meets here, the end, I'm going to have a much darker color, and then we're going to blend and see how they blend and all of that. First, I just want to sharpen this pencil. I use the Prismacolor sharpener. It's not the best sharpener in the world, but it does the job. I would like to get one of those electric ones that everyone raves about, the ones that stop when the pencil is sharpened. I would really love that. Okay, so they do sharpen to a nice fine point. You can see that. And let's get started on this. So again, here we are going to, I'm going to ignore these lines in here just for the sake of time. So I'm going to take this pencil and I'm going to go right here where it meets the middle, and I'm going to put a dark layer here. And I'm going to fade it out, so about the middle. So it's going to be dark here, faded to here. So more, you want to add more layers to where it gets to the darker color, and then we're going to just fade it out. Just lessen the pressure on your pencil. And I'm going to make this a bit darker to really show that highlight. Yeah, just still a little bit darker. I'm going very lightly with the pencils just because I don't want to make it too dark and then I don't like it. It's always easier to build up than it is to build down. If your thing is too light, it's easier to darken it up. If it's too dark, there's almost nothing you can do. So guys, I do have to move this around. I am left-handed, which makes my life a little bit more difficult when it comes to stuff like this, which is why I'm starting on the left-hand side. So again, we're going to do all the petals this way. Remember I said darker by the middle. And then we're going to fade it out as we come down. Okay, and again, I'm just going to go over this to make it darker so you can really see that difference. Okay, and then here. It's not working that way, so let me see if I can back up and get this so you guys can see it, and I can turn my page and do it the way that I need to do it so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Sorry, guys. Okay. Again, like I did before, like I said, all these petals are going to be done the exact same way on this flower. So darker, like I said, towards the center. And then fading it out, releasing pressure and fading it out. Let's do this one. Hope everyone's doing well, and this is Saturday here. At the time of recording, it's a beautiful day here in New York City. I'm getting some really hot days lately, but today is a little bit cooler, thank God, because it's been almost unbearable around here. Okay, final petal here, and I am gonna have to move my book again. Sorry guys, I really am trying my best to, make sure that number one, you can see what I'm doing, and number two, to make sure that like I can do what I need to do effectively, so that you can see what I'm doing. Probably should have picked a darker red, just because it's not that it's bad, I just thought this red would be darker. I didn't look at my swatch sheet before I started this. Okay, so there's our red, that's our first dark color. The next color we're going to go in is our next darkest color, which again is the orange. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over just where the shade, where we faded it out. We're going to cover over where we faded it out, and we're going to bring it up just to the end, right before the end of the petal, so we can still put our yellow in. So again, we're going to go in here where it's, like see right in here where it's faded out. We're going to go on top of that. And we are going to, again, just all the way down, up until like right before the petal hits, and we are going to start to fade it out. Okay, let's just go over this again. And again, we're going to do this for all the petals. And then letting go of the pressure a little bit. And that transition color area, can we go over this? It's a little, it's not, it has colored paper. Here, I gotta turn the book again. Sorry guys, I know this is annoying. Okay, so we are going to, again, we're just going over, like I said, where the lightest part of the red is, where we faded it out, and we are going to go over that, and we are going to go up to almost the top of the petal. We're fading out as we go up. We're lessening our pressure to fade it out. Okay. Next will be this top petal. And again, like I said, all we're doing is coloring and then fading up towards the top of the petal, leaving room just for our last color, which will be yellow. All right, so now we need to move the book again. So I will get the hang of this, I promise. Actually, we're not going to be able to do that because it's not going to sync well. So let's just do it this way. Like I said, the difficulties of being left-handed. Again, we're going to fade it out as we go towards the top. Okay, and finally we're going to go in with our last color, which is lemon yellow. We are going to color again where it fades out, and then we're going to color all the whole petal so that we can see how it blends. But we're going to start here at the top and fill that in first, just like that. All right, now we are going to cover the petal and see how these blend. Okay, it's not too bad. We may need to go in with a blender pencil, but we'll see. I actually like that, but the line seems to be a bit harsh. So we'll see. I'm going to, like I said, I think I'm going to go over it with a blender pencil just to see how that works. But the blending isn't terrible. It's blending. It's just, I guess I expected it to blend a little differently, which is fun. You know, it's always, there's always that learning curve with whatever pencils you use, because every pencil works differently, even within companies. You know, the oil pencils from a company might work different from a different pencil. So it's just kind of trial and error and learning, you know, working with your pencils so that you know how they work and you're able to use them basically without thought. Like I said, I just got this yesterday, so I'm just learning how to use these. I do have the premium set, but again, I only had those for a few days before I got these. So all right, so I'm going to go back in a little bit with my rose red just to darken up some areas after it's been blended a little bit. Just want to preserve this darkness over here closest to the middle of the petal. So just this area right here. That's it. And maybe here too, actually. Just right here. Just so we get a nice contrast. Okay, like I said, I'm going to take the blender pencil and see the difference. These, I do like this. I do like the way that they blended. But let's just test it out with the blender pencil. As you can see, this pencil is tiny. I've used it so much. This is a Prismacolor colorless blender pencil. You just scribble it on something to make sure that there is no leftover residue from something else, because you really don't want, let's say, a black maybe that you had used this for, and then you go and all of a sudden you have black marks all over your paper. Nobody wants that. So this looks like it's pretty dirty. Let me sharpen it real quick, see if I can get some of that darkness off of it. Okay, so we're going to come in here. We're just going to blend from light to dark. So start here where your yellow is and pull that color into there, and then pull the dark into the light. I do this in circular motions, just because it's usually a little easier to get a nice blend in a circular motion. So the pencils feel very creamy, very smooth. They go down on the paper very, very easily. You don't have to press hard. In fact, what I've noticed with these pencils, burnishing and blending, well, burnishing is really not exactly the best way to work with these pencils. These pencils seem to work better when you just kind of layer on top of layer on top of layer, and then it'll blend that way. So I think that looks pretty nice, actually. It looked pretty good before we blended it, but I think it looks even better now. Okay, so there's one other thing. I want to do the middle here. And for that, we're going to use, I believe, I'm going to use a rust orange and the burnt ochre. And we're going to start with the rust orange and then move into the burnt ochre. I do have to sharpen these as I have not used these colors yet. So they have that blunt tip, which I don't want. Okay. I think I've used this one before, but... Sorry guys. Okay, so let's go in first with the rust orange. And I'm just going to do a very light layer here with the rust orange. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me pull this back up here. Okay. So I'm just going to put a light layer in the middle here of this rust orange. And we're going to go over it with the burnt ochre. You know, the color seems really close to these here. So what I think I might do is take out my white Jelly Roll pens and just make some little highlights. I'll be right with you guys. I just have to grab those pens, those white Jelly Roll pens. Now, I don't know if you guys are very familiar with Sakura Jelly Rolls. Most people love them. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with them because half the time they don't work. So I have a set of the 05, the 08, and the 10. And the 10 seems to work the best most often, so I'm going to just go in with that very gently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. My camera kind of clicked out on me. So anyway, where we left off, I'm just putting 3 dots in here just to kind of give it a different look and feel, because it is very, the color is so alike with my other colors. So I just wanted to do something that would distinguish it from it. So I'm just putting some little dots here just to, like I said, get a little bit more interest and break up that colors that seem to be like basically exactly the same, even though they're not. Okay, so here's the real question. Would I buy them again? Would I recommend them? Absolutely. I would absolutely buy them again, and I do recommend them to anybody, really. They feel more like a Prisma than they do like a Polychromos. They're soft like a Prisma, but I have not noticed any breakage. I also have not had any problems with sharpening with these or the premium set that I have. So definitely, this is definitely a set that I really enjoy, and I think that many people would enjoy. It blends very well. I did use a blender pencil also just to show you how that works. And like I said, a little bit of white Sakura Jelly Roll just to give it a little bit more interest. So guys, anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. And as always, have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and happy coloring. Hey everyone, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. My camera kind of clicked out on me. So anyway, where we left off, I'm just putting 3 dots in here just to kind of give it a different look and feel, because it is very, the color is so alike with my other colors. So I just wanted to do something that would distinguish it from it. So I'm just putting some little dots here just to, like I said, get a little bit more interest and break up that colors that seem to be like basically exactly the same, even though they're not. Okay, so here's the real question. Would I buy them again? Would I recommend them? Absolutely. I would absolutely buy them again, and I do recommend them to anybody, really. They feel more like a Prisma than they do like a Polychromos. They're soft like a Prisma, but I have not noticed any breakage. I also have not had any problems with sharpening with these or the premium set that I have. So definitely, this is definitely a set that I really enjoy, and I think that many people would enjoy. It blends very well. I did use a blender pencil, also just to show you how that works. And like I said, a little bit of white Sequoia Jelly Roll, just to give it a little bit more interest. So guys, anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. And as always, have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and happy coloring.